I have 7 bets for January 18th in the NBA and in college basketball. Recapping yesterday, we ended up going 1-3. It's been our worst day in the past week and a half. It was our worst day. Paulo over 6.5 rebounds. He finished with 4. He is very close to being on the no bet list again. He might just be on it. You might never see me bet on him again because no matter what it is, he always screws us. Dame over 22.5 points was a great line. I got it yesterday morning, and then once Giannis was ruled out yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening before the game, his line went from 22.5 all the way up to 27.5, 28.5. So I felt really confident in this line going into the game. He finished with 17, got pulled early, midway through the third quarter due to a blowout. They lost by 40 points to the Cavs. They were down 22-2 to start the game. It was just all in all horrible. And yeah, that one really sucked. It hurt. And then the next one we lost was Jalen Johnson over 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He had 21 going into the fourth quarter. It was a close game against the Magic. Felt really good about it. 21. We only needed 6 more points, rebounds, or assists. Felt pretty confident with him going into the fourth quarter with that and the potential maybe even overtime or free throws down the stretch. But yeah, he finished with 22. He only got 1 point, rebound, or assist in the fourth quarter. Wasn't watching the game. Don't know which one he got. Just know he finished with 22. That one was pretty upsetting as well. Thankfully, though, we had LeBron 25 plus points. LeBron came through, and what was kind of a blowout, I think he ended up getting the 25th points with like 4 or 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter to put the Lakers up by 20 on the Mavs. So thankfully, LeBron came to and didn't have us have a 0-4 day. The reverse sweep, not what we were looking for. But today we're going to bounce back. Like I said, I have 7 bets. I have 5 in the NBA, and then I have 2 for college basketball. Getting started in the NBA, Scotty Barnes over 7.5 rebounds. He's under this, and he's only hit this in 1 out of his last 9 games. Sorry. He's 2-2 though versus the Bulls this year with grabbing 10 and 10 rebounds in both matchups. Also, Pascal Siakam traded. No Siakam. The people they got from the Pacers are not going to play tonight. So, his rebounds should go up tonight. I like this spot for him. Should be a close game. And Zach LaVine over 2.5 threes. He's averaging 7.33 threes a game versus the Raptors this year. He's hit this in 2 out of the 3 games versus them as well. He's also hit this in 3 out of his last 4 games played. The Raptors also give up 3.56 made threes to shooting guards a game. So I really like this line, especially with the Raptors giving this up and him hitting this in 2 out of his 3 games versus the Raptors. The one game where he didn't hit this, he shot 0 for 6 from 3. So it was just a bad shooting night from him. It happened. SGA over 31.5 points. For the first time this year, SGA has scored under 25 points in back-to-back games. The Thunder are in the middle of a 4-game road stretch where they've lost, the first half of this road stretch. You don't want to lose 4 games in a row, especially in the West, how tight it is. I look for SGA to, be aggressive tonight and, kind of will the Thunder to a win. You don't want to go on a 4-game road trip and lose 3 straight. Sabonis under 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I feel like this is a potential blowout game. Halliburton is listed as questionable, but I don't expect him to play tonight for the Pacers. They traded some pieces away yesterday, so Siakam's coming in. However, he's not going to be able to play tonight. And the Pacers actually only give up 13.65 rebounds to opposing team centers. So actually, they're really, really good at limiting the rebounds for centers. But I could easily see the Kings starters being pulled in the third quarter due to a blowout. We know how the NBA's been this year, the National Blowout Association, and the Pacers having to go on the road to Sacramento. I could see this being an issue and a big blowout, honestly. But Sabonis has hit this line a bunch recently, but just because of the potential for the blowout, I like the under. Due to another potential blowout, I like Anthony Edwards under 26.5 points. He's over this line in 4 out of his last 6. But in his 1 game versus the Grizzlies this year, he scored 24 points. He played in another game, but he only played 4 minutes, so I'm not even going to count that one. The Grizzlies only give up 20.62 points per game to opposing team shooting guards. So they're really good at defending the shooting guard position. But like I said, too many injuries for the Grizzlies, having to go on the road to Minnesota. I know Minnesota's coming off a back-to-back, but I still think this is a potential for a big blowout, leading to Edwards not hitting his point total. Moving on to college basketball, I have 2 picks in college basketball. For the first one, I like Michigan State minus 11.5 at home versus Minnesota. Minnesota this year is 1-2 on the road. Their average loss in both the losses on the road is 11 points. So, right there where we kind of need it, that would have them covering on the hook. But Michigan State is 9-2 at home this year. And they're coming off a win, Michigan State is, and Minnesota is losers of 2 straight. So I like Michigan State to kind of pull away in the second half of this game and end up covering the spread. The second pick, I like Memphis minus 10.5 against USF. Memphis is winners of 10 in a row. They're 8-0 this year at home. USF has yet to win a true road game this year. They are 0-3, and their average loss on the road this year is 11.33 points. So basically losing by 11 points, which would give Memphis the cover here. I like Memphis to get it done. An additional pick, a plus 1079 parlay for the Bulls versus Raptors game. I like quickly under 19.5 points. With the Raptors, he has hit this line. He's over this line in 5 out of 9 games, but the Bulls only give up 22 points to opposing teams' backcourt, so I like them to keep him in check. Then I like RJ Barrett, 20-plus points. He's hit this in 4 out of his last 5 games. Siakam's gone. His usage should go up. I also like Barrett, 6-plus rebounds. He's hit this in 7 out of his last 9 games and in all the games that he's played with the Raptors. I like DeRozan, 20-plus points. Coming off a game where he only shot the ball 8 times. In his career versus the Raptors, he averages 20 points per game at 47% shooting, and it's his old team, so he loves playing against them. He's going to get plenty of shots up tonight, especially going back to Toronto. Finally, my last 2 legs, Kobe White, 15-plus points. He's hit this in 7 out of his last 7. Against the Raptors this year, he scored 17 and 14. The 14.1 was early in the season. His minutes have ramped up since then. I also like Kobe White, 4-plus assists. He's hit this in 6 out of his last 7 games. And the Raptors give up 9.5 assists to point guards of the opposing team per game. So I easily like him to be able to hit this line tonight. Hopefully this is a close game. We can cash a 10-1 same game parlay in the NBA. Those are my 8 best bets for Thursday, January 18th between the NBA and college basketball.